Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is live. Let me just see if I can see you guys. For those of all who can see me, can you send me yes on the chat box? Just give me a second. I will soon start sharing my screen. So I would just request you to be a little patient with me. I will soon. All right. Oh, thank you so much. I see there's so many people who have come. Aditya, Bhanu Prakash, Sandeep, Tikkun, Nikhil. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Welcome to the webinar. So I will be your instructor for the day. Let me first of all tell you what this is about. This is a webinar to introduce you to the process of what it takes to crack a job interview or an internship interview. The students who are attending this are mostly pursuing their graduation or their post-graduation. And very soon I will start sharing my screen. I have prepared a small presentation to introduce you to the entire process. So how this will go is I have prepared some material. I will show it to you. Then I will give you some time to ask me questions. Your questions can be based on the material that I just presented, or any generic questions that you have in terms of the interview. And I will introduce myself when I start presenting. So just give me a second. I will start sharing my screen. All right. So yes, how to crack the first job interview of your life. So my name is Ritula. I am an experienced communications trainer from Tokyo. I have about 6 years of experience in PR and marketing. And I work with little certain top executives of firms such as Disney, Daichii Sankyo, Nissei, and Jorudan. So Disney, as you know, you must have heard that it is also known as the Walt Disney Company. It has a revenue of more than 130 billion US dollars. I also work with Daiichi Sankyo. For those of you who don't know, it is one of the biggest pharma companies based out of Japan. Their overall revenue is more than 12 billion US dollars. There are many more clients, and some of them have been mentioned here. So my job with all of them is to do just one thing: make them communicate better. And this is what I will be trying to do with you today. Before we begin, let me introduce you to my beautiful city of Tokyo. Well, thank you for watching the video. I did not make it. Some of my friends made it for Toyota as a brand campaign. Yeah, I know some of you are wondering what is the Statue of Liberty doing in Tokyo? Well, it is Tokyo, but it is not the Statue of Liberty. It is a replica. I think it's roughly 40 feet tall, about 1/7 the size of its New York counterpart. It was originally erected temporarily from 98 to 99 to pay tribute to Japan's ties with France. The statue, I think it returned in 2000 due to its popularity for good. All right. Uh, Let me tell you what is in there for you today. First, I will briefly take you through the interview process. I know most of you understand how it works, but I will quickly take you through it. Then we will discuss a few tricks to keep in mind while you are preparing for your interview. Then a few suggestions and tips that you need to take care of when you are in the interview room. After that, I will have a sample resume and I will take you through the various elements to make it better. And then we will have some time for the Q&A round. All right. Let us discuss how an interview works. So an interview can basically be divided into two rounds, written and personality assessment rounds. The written round is the aptitude round. I think you know, but let me tell you again. Aptitude tests are used by employers to measure your work-related cognitive capacity. It means that they will check whether you possess the frame of mind to do a particular job. Now, these tests are one of the most commonly used assessments in measuring candidates' suitability for a role. They include topics such as abstract, verbal, numeric, conceptual. Let us take a sample question. So the question is, keeping in mind the dash to develop the sector, the government has dash solicited foreign investment. The options are A, importance or never, B, proposal or forcibly, C, objective, wanted, D, view discreetly, E, need an activity. You can send me your options in the chat box. You can take a minute to think, but this is not a test. I just want to tell you that this is how some questions are. But as we discussed, there are several other topics such as numeric reasoning, conceptual reasoning. You need to be prepared for all of them. And once you pass the aptitude test, and then only the next rounds come. So let me see if somebody has answered. Well, E. Yes. So most of you are saying E, and some of you are also saying A and D. Well, whoever has answered E, that is the right option. The answer is E. Keeping in mind the need to develop the sector, the government has actively solicited foreign investment. I know it wasn't a very easy question, but such are the aptitude tests. You will also know that there is a lot of material that your college even provides you to prepare you for aptitude tests. I will talk about more and how you can prepare for it in the coming sections. So you see, these tests, they generally analyze your common sense, speed, and understanding ability. The companies don't pose exceptionally difficult questions to fail you, although they might ask confusing questions to see how you perform under pressure. So right now, the pressure was that you had to answer before anybody else could answer. This was the pressure that I created. And for those of you who performed well, kudos to you. I'm sure you'll be able to perform nicely when a real interview test comes in front of you. So when you clear the aptitude test, then comes the personal assessment round. This is the personal assessment round. For students from technical backgrounds, there is a separate written or personal technical interview. The only way to prepare for technical round is paying a lot of attention to books and also getting to know the industry trends. It always helps to know about some of the technological breakthroughs from the company as well. So you see, companies issue press releases whenever they have a new product or there is a technological breakthroughs that they're really proud about. But sometimes, due to lack of space, newspapers do not carry them. So one request for everybody, not just people who are appearing for technical rounds, but everybody who is appearing on an interview, please go through the company's website. You will find a lot of information that I'm sure the company is proud of. And use it while you're answering questions. Try to impress the person who is interviewing you. Coming back, the next round is group discussion. Now, group discussions form a very effective tool for a company to check if a candidate can participate in activities and tasks in a group. They assess a student's presence of mind, the depth of their knowledge, their communication skills, and their ability to argue logically. And also, they want to see that whether a student can express their thoughts in a group. And then comes the personal interview. It is the last step. It is said that in best cases, 10 to 20% of the students reach the personal assessment round. Only 2 to 3% of these get the job. So do you understand how important is this round for most jobs? So this was a brief introduction to the interview process. Let us look at a few tricks for interview preparation. The first one is introductions. Before the interview, prepare a paragraph describing yourself to grab the interviewer's attention. What if the interview starts from the very basic topic of introduce yourself? You should have something ready. I put a lot of emphasis on the introduction being very short because most of us, in the flow of introducing ourselves, give out details that we regret later. Some of them are lies, and because of their experience in the field, the person who is interviewing you is very quick to catch them. So keep it short, truthful, and use very simple words. Let us look at a sample introduction. Now, this picture has been blurred for privacy concerns. The name of this person is Rahul. He shared an introduction with me. We worked on it. And this is the final version of the introduction that we could get. He says, "Hello, I'm Rahul. Thank you for this opportunity. I am from Nagpur and I stay at the hostel in this college. I could not secure great marks during my board examinations, and my entrance test ranks were not that great too. But I made up for all that I lost in college. My academic record is much better than how I fared in school. I am more confident, knowledgeable, and my communication skills are one of the best in the class. I think you can achieve anything with hard work and willpower." Well, I am certainly impressed. The process that Rahul and I went through was a little hard because Rahul did not have a great sort of skills to show on his resume. But one thing that I could see that he was a really diligent person, somebody who would put in a lot of hard work to achieve anything. And sure, he did in college. And he could speak well too. Not the level I expected him to, but with some practice, he was much better than how he fared originally. So in this introduction, Rahul comes across as a very honest and hardworking person. Although it is pretty much on his resume that his scores are not that great, he makes a great first impression for himself by talking about his improvements in life. At the end, what you remember is that he believes in hard work and willpower. Who does not want to work with someone like him? Now, this case is for someone who struggles with finding something great in their resume. People who have a good academic record should try to highlight their achievements more than anything else. Remember, the interviewer, they have a lot of experience in interviewing students. It's very, very hard to trick them if you do not have real skill. All right. If someone wants to volunteer, they can send their introduction on the chat group once the Q&A starts. What I will do is I will try to work with you, provide some feedback, and let's do it on the go once the question and answer round starts towards the end of this presentation. Moving on, the second most important thing is knowing the company that you're applying for. It does not mean that they will quiz you about what they do. They simply want to know whether you are considering the job seriously or not. If you know the company, you also get brownie points for starting conversations and asking questions instead of just letting the interviewer question you. See, for two open positions, at least 100 people apply. You have to show that you are the best possible choice. There is a pro tip too. Set up Google News alerts for the company and the industry that you're interviewing for. It really helps you in gaining perspective about what they do and what is their industry like. Let us find out more about another student who I've worked with. And this is an excerpt from an interview question that he faced. The interviewer asked, "Why do you want to join this company?" Now, Abhishek is a smart boy. He knows that every question is an opportunity to impress. He also knows that people are going to talk about how they are inspired with the company's vision. That's what the companies want to hear. So, how should he impress and convey the same message that everybody else is going to say? Let's see what he says. So, he was interviewing for Tata, and he says, "Tiago is my favorite car. Tata Motors has seen an uptick in sales ever since the launch of its hatchback Tiago in April 2016. While the industry experts knew that it would do reasonably well, I was pretty sure that it is set to break records. I want to work with a company that makes exceptional products. It makes my job easier since I only believe in excellence." Well, I like the answer. And of course, he likes Tiago. And but I think when I spoke to him for the first time, I felt that Tata is not a company that he grew up fantasizing about. But it was a great opportunity because he could get into a decent college, and Tata came to recruit. And he also found about the amazing performance of Tiago while preparing for his interview from this article. This article appeared in the Economic Times auto section. The headline reads, "Top 10 selling cars in August 2017. Tata Tiago inches closer to Renault grid." And he just read this article a couple of days before. There are so many students who are going to participate in the interview, who are going to sit for the interview, clear the first round, then the second round, and then comes the personal interview round. If there are 20 students and they're only selected about 2 of them, you have to show that you are the best. That is what Abhishek tried to do while preparing for the interview. He read up a lot on Tata's website. He read up a lot on newspapers and various websites. All right. This was a case study. And let me share some suggestions for the interview room now. Number 1, listen very carefully. It may seem very obvious, but it is a game changer, my friend. Some of the interviewers are so adept at their jobs that they will make you feel intimidated. And they may look like they are in a hurry. But if their time is important, so is yours. Don't let it bother you. It helps you in 2 ways. You look composed, and you are able to give better answers. Number 2, take pauses. Now, this is not just an interview tip. This is a life lesson that I want to share with you. Not just for people who are appearing for interviews, not just for people who are appearing for interviews for internships, but a life lesson. Whenever there is a discussion or somebody asks you a question, think first, structure your answer, and then speak. I understand it is easier said than done, but it can definitely be done with some practice. I'm launching a full course in collaboration with Eckovation, and that goes through a series of personal Skype sessions. I will make sure that you practice structuring your answers. It should become a part of your daily life. Always take a pause, think, structure your answers, and then speak. I will share more details about the course towards the end of the presentation. Let us move on to the next part, which is discussing a sample resume. Now, this resume has been sent to me by a student. She lives in Christchurch, New Zealand, but she studied all her life in India. She's an Indian. And she hopped on various jobs, but took a long maternity leave also. Um, but there was something that I noticed in the resume that she sent to me first, and we worked on it and we improved it. Let us have a look at the process of my vetting the resume. Well, this is half a page of the resume that she sent to me. I have changed the name for privacy concerns, obviously. And this is half a page. It starts with I'm a graduate in commerce who can deliver excellent customer service and build team performance. I'm energetic, flexible, and reliable. And I have consistently received outstanding feedback in performance reviews. I have the ability to build excellent relationships or whatever. See, if I were the interviewer and if I got this resume, I will look past the profile, the key competencies, because this is something which is not relevant for me. Your resume is like your first impression. You have to make sure that you set a very good first impression. But still, let me put myself in the shoes of an interviewer and let me see. This is the half page of the first page. The next half page looks like this: personal attributes. I know for sure that this has been copy pasted from somewhere. And of course, it was done to increase the volume in the resume. I don't know why people do that. Then this is the next page, and it starts with the employment history. She worked with HDFC as a call center agent, started in July and worked till January 2013. And I'm thinking, this is 2018. Why has she applied after so many years? And then I move on to the next line. It shows her employment history from April 2013 to December 2013. Completely wrong. Your employment history should always be in a chronological order, or to say reverse chronological order, so that what you have just recently done or where you are currently pursuing your interests should show on the top. Always. There are no exceptions to this rule. And then she talks about various other positions and then responsibilities and duties suddenly in between. She sure did mention some responsibilities and duties after her first job, but after the second job, there was nothing. And then again, nothing. And suddenly in between, there's a barrage of points outlining her responsibilities and duties. Well, a really bad thing to do, because whenever you are talking about your experience, you should give sort of equal weightage to all the experiences that you're about to list. If you mention 1 or 2 points about a particular job experience, the same weightage should be given to the next job experience. Yes, if you have done something exceptional, you should make a separate column about projects or awards that you would want to highlight. It does not look very symmetrical. Then again, some experience. Business owner. She was a business owner as well for some time. I changed the name of the cafe. And then there is some spelling error, but let us move past it. Then she talks about her education and training. Some education technology institute in New Zealand, some experience in education here. And she also mentions in training, HDFC Bank. Well, yeah, there is another page. This is the fourth page. She mentions some interests and referees, means references. They use it in slang in countries outside India. This is a 4-page long resume. Nobody is going to read it. That was my first feedback to her. I think we need a break. Well, not really. Normally, no one would go through a 4-page long resume. No one. Your resume should ideally be only 1 to 2 pages long. Ideal is one, especially since you're just getting out of college. If you have some work experience and if you are a postgraduate student, your resume can be 1.5 pages long, but not more than that. Even Elon Musk can fit his resume into 1 page. So why can't you? So I worked with her. We made a lot of amendments and changes. And this is how the first page of a resume looks like. Starting from the most recent experience and moving on to other experiences, just 1 or 2 points highlighting what she did. She really wanted me to keep the skills and personal attributes. I tried to shorten them, but she was really convinced that this is what works in her city. So I had to sort of manage with her request as well. But if you believe me, and if you have got a certain amount of experience, this is what you want to show. Nobody wants to read copy pasted material from online or from somebody else's resume. I agree that it was a little bit different about 10 years ago when the internet was not that popular. But now everybody has internet and everybody has access to great lines. Your resume is not a place to show your creativity. It is a place to show your work, and that should be visible. And this is the second page. Actually, we could do it in 1 page, but because she wanted to mention references, always make sure that the references are not just mentioned at the back of the page or on a separate page, because people tend to overlook them. And it comes across as very confident if you can show some references in the resume itself. All right. So this was mostly it. And I think it's almost time for us to start the Q&A session. And yeah, so I have collaborated with Eckovation to launch a course which is called the Crack the First Job Interview of Your Life. It is targeted at all the students who are pursuing their graduation or post-graduation who need some help with their resume, with their questions, maybe with their personality or communication skills. I would certainly like to help you out. The only thing that you have to do is go to www.ecovation.com, and this is the course that you have to select. I think I can, and this is the group. If you want to join Eckovation app and join the course, this is the group code. Let me show you how you go to it. Eckovation.com. There seems to be some problem. All right. Well, I'll show it to you sometime towards the end. Now, what I want you to do is please ask your questions. Whatever questions you have, please ask them here, and I will take your questions and I will try to answer as many of them as possible. All right. So Vijay Kumar Mishra is saying that, ma'am, I am a fresher, but I got a lot of certificates, so my resume became of 2 page. Should I cut certificate line and make it in 1 page? So Vijay, actually, it depends on the kind of job that you're applying for. I understand that you want to showcase your talent. And if it is relevant information, your resume can be longer than 1 page. I completely agree with that. It is just that to give you very specific feedback, I would actually have to look at your resume. But if you just want a generic feedback, that would be look at the kind of job that you're applying for and then see what are the certificates essential for that job, then mention those certificates. Also, if you actually have earned so many certificates, I would request you to update it on your LinkedIn ID. Most interviewers these days, they look at your LinkedIn ID. Even if you are a student, they try to find you online, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, just to understand and analyze your personality. So my suggestion to you would be to send your resume to me if you can join the course. Otherwise, it is absolutely fine to have a 2-page resume as well. But I think if you really customize your resume as per the needs of that particular job, you can get your resume under 1 page. Okay. Just give me a second, guys. Just give me a second. Let me stop the screen share. And yeah, and let me look at all the questions. Okay. I will try to answer as many questions as possible, but I really apologize because if there's a lack of time if I'm not able to, but I will try to. Now, I am looking at Ritvik Kumar's question, who says, is industrial training important? Yes, industrial training is very important. Even the MHRD has made internships compulsory, and that is because they want people to have some industrial training. It also depends what kind of dream do you have in life. If you want to start your own startup, it's great that you work with some of the industry experts to understand how a business works. If you want to get into a good company through a job interview, it is very important to know what that particular company wants. Personally, I feel that industrial training is very important because it sort of provides you an interface with the real life. All right. Then CP Chakravarti is asking if I'm doing an internship in abroad through AIESEC, is it better for my resume? Again, as I answered Ritvik's question, there are companies who especially look for internships abroad, although most of the companies would be happier, but it also depends what kind of work you did. See, getting an internship per se and showing it in your resume is good. But what is the cherry on the cake? It is if you have got a lot of experience that adds value to your resume and to yourself as a person. That is very, very important. All right. Please provide best format of resume for a fresher. All right, Suraj, I read your question. It is just that there are many formats available online. You can select any format, but yeah, if you can select something which is highly rated, that would be good. The only problem with the material available online is because everybody can post online. So if you can take a resume format from a coveted website, that would be good. Also, it's not just about the format, it is also about how you present the information. So it's very, very important that you sort of get your resume checked for the language and for the format and everything else from a person who is experienced. It can be it can be somebody from your recruitment set also at your college. All right. Let me take some questions about interviews. Okay. Does the interviewer look at your 12th marks and gives importance to while interviewing for a job or an internship? But Sayantan, this is a very specific question, as I already said. There are companies which give a lot of preference to your 10th marks and 12th marks, while at the same time, there are companies who wouldn't care about your marks. They only want to see the kind of person you are and if you have what it takes to enter their company, whether for an internship or for a job. But yes, it is always great to have a good score in 12th. It just tells them that you tried really hard and you were able to succeed. So it means that you are a go-getter. Uh, it always helps. But as in the case of Rahul that I spoke during the interview, he sure did not have great marks. But in order to compensate for that, in college, he was really active. He had great communication skills. He also made sure that marks in his college become better. So he worked towards it. Of course, I'm here to guide you about how you can fare better at interviews, but it is also important for you to possess a real skill. It is not just about impressing the interview on the day of the interviewer, impressing the interviewer on the day of the interview. It is also about your entire life. If you are not interesting, then be interesting. Find something that makes you interesting. If you got bad marks in the previous years, work harder in the next semester or in the next year. It will never be a bed of roses for you. You have to work hard in order to make sure that somebody wants to work with you. All right. So Subhashish, hi ma'am, this is my introduction. Where is your introduction, Subhashish? Okay. My name is Subhashish and I am from Bhubaneswar. I completed my 10th class and I got 67% marks. I like to play volleyball and TT. All right, Subhashish, if an interviewer asks you, introduce yourself. It's good to provide your name. So you have done a decent attempt there. You provide your name and then you tell that you are from Bhubaneswar. And then you provide your 10th class marks. Um, but it is kind of a short introduction. You need to mention more. That is your first opportunity to impress somebody. So you have to make sure that you are able to say something that catches the interviewer's attention. For example, I really like that you have mentioned there that you like to play volleyball and TT. That is pretty good. But give an opening to the interviewer so that they can talk more about it. You can also talk about your interests more and more. You can talk about the kind of projects that you did. Introduce yourself is the only question that is like given to you on a plate to say anything to impress the interviewer. All right. Taranveer Seni is asking, ma'am, how does the interviewer tries to judge about the person's skills looking at the resume during the interview? Well, your resume is your first impression. And everybody knows that your first impression has a lasting effect. So when you hand over your resume to the interviewer, they would want to know what kind of effort has this person put in to showcase himself or herself. It is not something uh, that they are very critical about, but it just gives them your first impression. If there are typos, they would feel this person maybe is a little bit negligent. If there are spelling errors, again, it gives out the same impression. If the resume has been written very nicely and it is easy on the eyes for the interviewer, they would seem impressed. They will feel that this person has surely spent some effort and has made this job easier for us. An interviewer is a very responsible person. They know that out of a lot of so many students, they are going to select only one or two. It's a very big responsibility, and in that responsibility you have to work towards making the interviewer's job easier. That's very, very important, and you do it by highlighting the great parts in your resume and making the job easier for the interviewer. Ma'am, will you give us one-on-one coaching? Yes, Shubhashish. We will give you one-on-one coaching. It is when you subscribe to the course. I will make sure that I work with you through various Skype lessons so that it is not just about the material. I'm able to work with you on your life story, on your strengths and weaknesses, on your resume. And we will make sure that you practice hard enough to crack the first job interview of your life. All right. Gurun Kumar says, hi, I have 2 years of experience in IT sector, but I'm looking for a technology switch. How change my resume so that my experience doesn't go waste, and also I can showcase my interest and subject knowledge in new domain. All right. So Kiran, it is not just about your resume, it is also about what you do in your life. If you're looking for a technology switch, you have to justify that switch first of all. And if you do that in your personal life, it will automatically, we will work to reflect it in your resume. I don't know what kind of technology switch are you looking at right now, but let us say if you want to move from IT to mechanical, you have to show maybe a post-graduation degree or an internship or something that you did, some project that justifies your switch. But I would want to know what kind of technology switch are you looking at so that I can suggest you what needs to be done for you to be able to uh, make that change in your resume. There are some companies which are very open about people exploring different areas of technology because these people, they sort of pride themselves in calling people who like to know how technology changes and how society changes with it. So I understand your concern, but I would need to know more to be able to help you further with this. Yes, Shubhashish, we will edit your resume and intro through the Skype lesson and through emails. Uh, is this thing the way? Madam, what will be the best answer for question, why should we hire you? Danish has asked this. So Danish, it is not an independent question and an independent answer. It depends a lot on your life story. It is not just saying that your interview throughout was very well. And let us say, for example, you were interviewing for a mechanical engineering position and you spoke all about your projects and the great marks that you get. And when it comes to why should we hire you, you say, oh, I'm a very independent person. I can work on my own. No, that is not the answer they're looking at. Always remember the thing with a lot of online material that is available. For example, these are the type of questions and these are the type of answers that you can give. They always work with a lot of synergy. An interviewer can always know that you just are narrating a textbook answer. So it depends a lot on what you said during the interview. What is your life story? What is your image of yourself? And that should reflect in your answer. All right. Falsafa, is it good that I should have a great vocabulary? Um, well, an interview is not just about being able to speak nicely. It is mostly about being able to communicate what you think your skills are. So you are selling your skills, you're selling yourself to the company. They should be able to know that we are hiring somebody with these kind of skills. If you're able to communicate all of that within the limit of your vocabulary, that is absolutely fine. But if you are struggling with it, I suggest that you try to improve it. There are many applications, only for vocabulary, there are many applications. One of them is called MEMRISE, MEMRISE. They try to improve your vocabulary with a very unique method of repetition. So you can do that if it is only about vocabulary. If you're talking about your communication skills, I would suggest that you practice really hard, because if you have got the right skills, if you have got the right marks and the right kind of experience to land a good job, you should not be left behind only because of your communication ability. You can master great communication strategy only and only for the interview. It is only a matter of practice. If you got everything else and only communication is a problem, come to me. I'll really help you. All right. How to know what the interviewer is thinking about? Well, how to basically make sure that the interviewer is really impressed with you? Uh, that is something I think I can answer. You can never know what the other person is thinking about, but you can always try to strike a nice conversation, try to be very truthful and honest, yet very charming during the interview. Sandeep, um, do not get into those tricks of just trying to analyze what the interviewer is thinking about. uh, Interviewers, most of them have a lot of experience, and they can easily tell if the other person is trying to trick them into something. So I would really suggest that you stick to being true to yourself. You stick to having a great approach during the interview. And I think that's about it. Never think too much into trying to analyze what the interviewer is thinking about. All right. Hmm. Sachin Sharma is asking, will there be mock interview? Yes, yes. There will be mock interviews for the session. So what I am, let me explain you, because there are certain questions which have been repeating. Um, I will work with you. So first of all, once you log on to Eckovation, and once you sort of purchase the course, there will be a lot of material that will be present. You will, and a lot of assignments that you have to do. First of all, I will work with you on your introduction, which means that you will send me a paragraph and I will correct it for you. And if need be, we will get on a Skype call so that I can understand you better, and so that we have a good introduction for the very first question. The second thing that we are going to do is I'm going to work with you on your resume. So how that happens is you send me a rough draft of your resume. I will see if it is in the right format. I will work with you to make it better. But the resume is not just about grammatically correcting it. It is mostly about getting to know you more, getting to know what are the areas that need to be highlighted, what are the areas that we sort of need to hide, and working with you on your life story. And as a process, once all of that is complete, I will work with you just on various mock interviews so that we are able to make sure that you are prepared for the final day. Falak Safa says, ma'am, are there any tips for communicating confidently? Practice is the key, Falak. You have to practice a lot. I remember when I started in India. I was in my 12th grade, and I was the head girl of the school. I hope my teachers are not watching this, but yeah, there's a secret I'm going to let out today. So there was supposed to be a speech that I had to give towards the end of the head girl. It is basically to motivate all the students who are going to um, a college after that and going to be separated. And we spent about 15 years of our life in the same school. So that was a very emotional moment for me. And I thought I will pour my heart out. Of course, my English was mostly fine. It is just that I knew that whenever I know till now that whenever I'm very emotional, I cannot speak nicely. My emotions just take power. And fear is one of the emotions. But what I did, I knew that I would be very emotional. I practiced my speech for, I think, a month before. speaking. It was a 5-minute long speech, and I practiced it really, really hard. And there was fear. I never feared the stage because I was always participating in competitions, extemporaries. So I never feared that. But I knew that I would be emotional that day. So I just made sure that I practice hard enough so that fear or any other feeling that may overpower me, that does not. That is what you need to do, Falak. Just practice a lot. There won't be any fear. Practice for a month. There won't be any fear during the interview, even if you know the answer or not. No, fear is something that you can tame very easily. All right. Certificates or projects, which one matters more? Anubhav, again, it depends upon the kind of job that you're applying for. Projects give sort of a vibe that you are you have industry experience, or you know how to do things. Certificates is basically, okay, let's look at it like this. A certificate is basically getting the know-how of a certain thing. A project is just implementing that thing. A project, according to me, would be more important, but honestly, it depends upon the kind of companies that you're applying for. You need to read up a little bit online about that company. But if you ask me, I think projects are more important. Mm, what does an interviewer expect from a fresher? Yash is asking. Well, I have taken interviews from a lot of freshers. What I expected them was that they did not waste their college life. And some of them just say, right now when I work with them, many students on their resumes, when I sort of vet their profiles, most of them tell me that, ma'am, we don't have a hobby. I don't know. I just like listening to music. I just like reading books. Then I'll say, what kind of books? Like Chetan Bhagat books or normal fiction books. It is just that there's no right answer to it, Yash. An interviewer only and only, according to me, wants to see that the students is interesting enough for us to hire them. They also want to see if you have not wasted your time and done something great with your time. Because once you join the company, there is a certain protocol that they make you follow, a certain number of trainings that you have to go through. But after that, it is mostly you are on your own. Initial 6 months are mostly under the shadow of your manager. They just explain you what needs to be done and how you can make things better for yourself. But honestly, when you join the company after the initial 4 or 5 months, you are on your own. And in the college, it is the same scenario. So, what did you do when you were on your own? Did you create something nice? Did you do something that should change people's lives? Did you do something for the society, for your parents, for yourself? Or did you just Netflix and chill? So it matters a lot to me as an interviewer. Yeah, but at the same time, there are interviewers who just want to see the kind of marks that you have got. But recently, I have noticed that lesser and lesser number of people take like notice your marks. They want to see what did you do in your college life. Mm, Shubham is asking, how much communication plays its role in an interview? It plays a great role. I think I answered the previous question. It is not just about talking nicely in English or if they are comfortable with any other language. The most important thing is being able to communicate your feelings, your work, and everything else. That is the most important part. And for an interview, if you want to prepare for that, it can be done with practice. It's not something which is not doable or is very difficult. All right. Uh, Ma'am, I will definitely practice hard. Okay, Falak, I told you guys I have collaborated with Eckovation for a course on interview preparation, job preparation. It is available on the website www.eckovation.com. If you go to the courses section, you will find a course on crack the first job interview of your life. So that is very, very important. If you want to reach to me. I do not live in India, and I'm living out of Japan, and I would be really glad if I can help you. Um, let's see if there are more questions. I feel like wearing casual dress. No, please don't. Dingu Sagar, please don't do that. It leaves a very bad impression. You may be all that you like. You may be all great. I understand your resume. You may be the college topper, but it is very, very important to wear formally. You can wear a nice ironed t-shirt. Sorry, a nice ironed shirt and pants with shoes, but that's it. You don't have to wear a blazer. I understand if you don't have one, but please dress formally. It's very, very important. Um, Ramkumar Chog is asking, please let me know if I am sitting in the TCS interview for software engineer profile. Can I include campus ambassador program in resume? Yes, of course, you should do that because I understand the job maybe of a software engineer, but they want to understand your personality. If you're a campus ambassador, it means that you showed leadership skills somewhere. So yeah, it's very important. You should showcase it. How to approach to make my SOP stronger and good. You need to work on your life story. An SOP is sort of a window to who you are and why you want to pursue that particular course or that particular job. So it's very, very important that you have a great idea about who you think you are and what do you want to become in the future and how that particular thing, the course or the job will help you. That's very important. Yeah, Soumya, I did not get your question. Can you please send it to me? So which question, Soumya? How to overcome the situation in front of an interviewer when you don't know the answer? Well, it's interesting. If it is a technical interview, even I don't have an answer for you, Soumya. You have to sort of know your subject. It's very important. And at the same time, if they ask you something about life in general or about your skill, um, practice can overcome everything. I'm sure if you practice hard enough, there won't be any question that you don't know the answer for. But if it's a technical round, know your books, know the industry, know the competitors, or try to sort of um, make yourself look like somebody who is really skilled. It's okay. And Einstein was also wrong sometimes. So if you don't answer one or two questions, don't be bogged down by that. But if you don't answer many questions, that is a matter of concern. And you shouldn't also expect a lot of that out of that company to understand you. If there's one question that you don't answer out of 10 questions asked, or two questions that you can't answer, or even three, that's absolutely fine. They just want to see you undeterred if there is a situation wherein you can't help. Okay, so time pass, that's not a good name to enter a YouTube chat with. It just makes you look like troll. So I'm sorry, time pass, but I'm answering your question. How to improve my communication skills? Practice a lot. Okay, so Ritvik, how to improve communication skills in lesser time? Well, I can work with you, Ritvik, if you plan to join. But if you don't want to join a course or buy a course, I would recommend that you work really, really hard to improve it in lesser time. Usually, it's very difficult. Practice is the key. Keep practicing. Uh, there are many. Well, there's a lot of material available online. It's just that select a nicely vetted material. There's a lot of courses that Eckovation has started. I was really happy to show to look at their initiative. So you can join courses. The key to improving something in the shorter time is working with somebody. Honestly, that is what I feel. Because human mind, like it's the habit of wandering on its own. So it's very important that you work with somebody in collaboration, be it your friend or a trainer or a tutor, so that somebody is there to watch your steps. All right. Anti-table masala, again, not a good name to ask questions with. You can change your uh, name. Ma'am, I'm very poor in speaking English fluently. How can I improve? Practice. So, guys, for all the people asking me, how can we improve our communication skills, everything else, it's just practice, honestly. But yeah, if you want to, you have lesser time to practice, practice with somebody, a tutor, a trainer, or a friend, or somebody at home who can keep you on track. Ritvik Kumar, how costly practice from where? I've shared the details with you. You can join my course. I can ask the Eckovation team to provide you discounts, but that's all that is in my hand. Um, but yeah, if you join the course and if you work with me, I will make sure that you can improve in time. All right, guys, I am running out of time. I'll take 2 or 3 more questions. So can you quickly send them to me? How can we utilize our summer doing internship or course certification? Well, you answered your question yourself. Mm, summer internship and course certification. Course certification is no longer going to a center and sitting there taking classes. It's online now. Do both of them. How do I improve GD skills as I'm introvert? Utkarsh Kumar. Um, so in group discussion, it is very important to know something. It is not just about speaking in a group, it is speaking a relevant point. So increase your knowledge. One thing that especially the interviewers take care in a group discussion round is if somebody is actively trying to participate. Usually they ask people, okay, now it is your turn or your turn. Do you want to say something? But if somebody is actively participating, they usually get noticed. Hmm. Please tell me how to get internship. And especially for internships and foreign internships, Ecovation has launched another course. I think their video is available, especially of the webinar. It's available on Ecovation's YouTube channel. You can see. And there's a course also that Ecovation has launched. There are many more courses actually. If you go to Ecovation's website, www.ecovation.com, and go to the courses page, you will find that there are a lot of courses that can help you, certification courses. Mohit Jana, good answer for strengths and weakness. I need to know you to be able to tell you your strength and weakness. But just as uh, a small tip, your weakness should never actually be your weakness. So please don't say that, oh, I work so hard that I fall sick. No, that looks very bad. Please don't say that my weakness is that I can't work in a team. No, they won't hire you. The weakness should basically be something that you're already showing some promise on, you're overcoming. For example, you can say that I work very hard, I try to do everything on my own, but recently I noticed that it would be very difficult for a particular project. And I tried delegating responsibilities, and my job was to make sure that everybody submits their part. And although it was a weakness, but I think I'm working on it. So something that you are able to quote an incident, a true incident, and showcase that you are improving on that. Everybody likes improvement. um, well, Devesh, not good. um, how to be confident during interview? Practice everything. It's practice. You should have a friend or a tutor such as me, or your teacher, somebody who can work with you to practice more and more. An interviewer is not something that you should be afraid of. It's an opportunity for you to showcase your talent. Like it's like your personal short movie, something that you are the hero of. So please try to utilize that opportunity and give your best shot. Taranveer Saini, ma'am, should we try to show our weakness in an interview as this would lead to interviewer know me better? Um, Taranveer, that's a good question, and I just answered. It's your weaknesses are very important. You cannot show yourself as somebody who like does not care or who has no weaknesses. That makes you look like as non-human. But it's very, very important at the same time to not uh, tell them something that they would be afraid to hire you. I just narrated something, an instance wherein the interviewer asks about the weakness. Don't say that it is, I work too hard that I fall sick, or I can't work in a team. Those are major hiccups for somebody if they want to hire you. If you really want to tell them something, tell them that there is this a glitch, but I'm trying to improve on it. All right. Does socializing with people play a vital role in getting hired in a company? Kind of extrovert. Yes, it shows how confident you are that you're able to hold a conversation, but that should also look like they should be able to communicate it in the interview as well. You shouldn't look that you're fearing something. You shouldn't be intimidated. You should come across as an extrovert, but a very respecting individual in the interview as well, Vijay. Kancharla Vamsi Krishna Prasad, may I get discount of your offer? I will definitely ask Eckovation team to send you a discount. So it's guys, it's just that it's not just material that I'm providing you. I'm spending a lot of time both with you and behind the scene to work with you on your resume, on our Skype sessions to improve your life story and everything else. Um, I need like and because I'm spending so much time there, I would have to charge something. But yeah, I would request the Ecovation team to send you a discount voucher or something. I would try my best. How much necessary is it to make our interview interactive? Very interactive. Yeah, it should be very interactive, Abhishek. It's very important to tell them that you are a part and party of the interview and not just somebody who is subjected to that interview. It's very important for you to participate. All right, guys, one more minute and I will have to disconnect because this webinar is stretching longer and I have a class to take. Um, any other question? Thank you, Kancharla. I have an introvert personality. It's my weakness or strength. Oh, being an introvert is not a weakness or a strength. It's just who you are. So don't let it bother you or let somebody tell you that, oh, it's a weakness that you possess. No, not at all. It's absolutely fine if you are an introvert, but the interview is a professional setup for you to showcase who you are. And it's not an opportunity to socialize. It's an opportunity to get somewhere in life. So don't look at it like that. All right. Well, I will share my email ID once you subscribe to the course. And thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. And I was really afraid. So this is one of my first webinars with Eckovation. So I was really afraid that how would it go? But you see, all of you seem like a bunch of really nice people. And I'm glad that I got to interact with you. I really hope that you subscribe to the course and I get to work with you on your life story, on your resume, on mock interviews, on your questions such as strengths and weaknesses and everything. I would request Ecovation right after this ends to share a discount coupon if they can, and just understand it's a part of my job, and I'll be spending a lot of time with you to make you look presentable and confident and have a nice resume for your interview. I'll be really glad to work with you. It's just that right now we have a limited um, uh, group. I can only accept 50 students as of now for the first batch. It'll be glad for me to be able to work with all of you at some point in life. I can, but right now it's just 50 students. So whoever wants to join, please join the course, and I would see you on the other side. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can write to Ecovation. They can pass them to me. And thank you, everybody, for such a wonderful time.